Welcome back to the channel. So right now we are part 2 of the Cadillac Heater Core. So what I've done is I've removed the battery for safety and for convenience. I've disconnected the pressurized hose that comes out of the reserve to the motor, just to allow myself a little bit more wiggle room to check the lines. I filled this up with water last night to make sure there wasn't any leaks in the lines. As of right now, we don't have any issues. We still need to tackle the clips today. Right there, there's the top one, and then right below it there's another one. You could get probably a pair of pliers or a pair of vice grips in there, but I'm gonna go and rent the tool today from AutoZone and get that pulled off and pulled away, and then that way I can slide the heater core out. So let's go inside. So here's the dash. Let me just the dash in the glove box. So you have 3 switches that you'll see that I had to disconnect. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 and 6 screws that you'll have to remove from this. This is the case that goes on the passenger side of the heater core. There's 2 screws. It just pulls out after you pull those screws. Then here and here are some swivels, and there's some swing arms that you have to lift out and pull off of there and then pull down on this one. And I'll show you here. So the first thing you'll have to do when you get in here is you got to pull this protective plate out that goes under here. And there's 3 bolts in my case. 3 there, and that's those ones right there and there. And then these screws were for the dash. These were the star screws. And then for the protector, I think it's a 7 millimeter. And then these ones here were for the case that goes on the passenger side of the heater core. And these 2 here are for the bracket that hold it in place. So this is the bracket that holds it in place. So we'll keep that there. Now, what I had to do first was take the plate off. So 1, 2, 3 screws, drop it. It's right there. Then it came up and did the glove box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws. Disconnected the wiring harness that goes back to the glove box. For those 3 switches, you have the valet, the track off, and whatever else that. I think that's a light up there at the top. So we disconnected that. Now for this case that you see, we had 2 screws that were here, and then 1 down below that you can't see, and that was these little screws here. And you just undo those, and then that case comes off, but it doesn't open all the way. You have to take the computer out, which is this one, and then you can't see it, but right about there, there's a tab that you push out, and when you push that out, that whole box, that whole silver computer box will pull out. It just sits in these little ledges here, and then put it down here so you can open this case up, and it just opens out. It freely sits in there, and then you have to kind of finagle it down underneath, and then you have to be mindful of these wires right here and kind of move things around. It was a little bit of a challenge. It's going to probably be a little bit of a challenge to go and put it back, but it fits in that groove right there around here, and there is no reason why there should be water in there. So that definitely tells me that this is leaking somehow. When this went into the smog, it exploded, and all the radiator fluid came out, and it was pouring out underneath the car. So that part I haven't figured out yet, but I do know that there's an issue here somewhere, and we're gonna get to the bottom of it. But now all I have to do is, this is free. I just need to disconnect the clamps to the 2 hoses that are there at the firewall, with the crimper tightener tool that you can rent from I was about to say Home Depot, from AutoZone, and get that in there and pull that out and get the new one in, and then just reverse order, put everything back, and hopefully it works. If it works, I can take it back down to AutoZone, or I'm sorry, to the smog. Whew. That's the hard part, having to sit in there and do all that. But there you have it. So we're gonna get those out today, pull the lines back. I was gonna bypass it. Now you could technically bypass it by disconnecting those and looping those hoses together for a temporary fix. But if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right, even though I may not keep the vehicle in case it does get sold or whatever the case may be. And then we gotta put everything back together. So thanks for watching, I appreciate it. I'll see you on the next one.